Hi, amazing souls. It's your blissful soul, Katrina WW for Wajiko. This is how the NCCK Youth Conference went down.
In our country, we are in the position we are by the grace of God. Pengine tumekuwa tukipitia wakati mgumu, na quite for sure we were talking yesterday and we were saying we are heading in the wrong direction. But it's good to say tuliambiwa kwamba kuna tumaini, there is hope, and we are saying today we are here by the grace of God. We are where we are by the grace of God. And Paul says very well. Paul says very well in verse number 10. But by the grace of God I am what I am, and His grace towards me was not in vain. On the contrary, I worked harder than any of them, though it was not I, but by the grace of God which is in me. I would just want to summarize that by three points. Point number one, I want to say the enabling grace help us to accomplish that which God has called us. Yani, neema ambayo Bwana anatupea huwa inatusaidia kutimiza kile ambacho Mungu ametuitia tuweze kufanya. Sisi ni wana yote. We are called to speak and to preach about peace. We are the agents of peace. We are the one to carry the message of peace. Hata vile ambavyo tunasikia kwamba kuna mambo ambayo inatayarishwa, we have to speak to our people. We have to encourage them. We have to carry this grace ili tuweze kuwaongelesha, ili tusifike mahali ambapo pengine hatuwezi kwenda kufika. Point number 2, the enabling grace is given for a specific purpose. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. The enabling grace is given for a specific purpose. Yani neema ambayo tumepewa katika wakati huu ni neema ambayo itatusaidia kwa wakati ambao tulipo. Neema ambayo tumepewa wakati huu ni neema ambayo itatusaidia kutembea katika hali ambazo ziko ngumu katika maisha yetu. Neema ambayo tumepewa katika wakati huu ni neema ambayo itatusaidia kuongelesha watu wengine ambao wamefika mwisho wao, kama vile ambavyo tulikuwa tumeambiwa jana na mchungaji. And the last point is that grace help you to grow. That is 2 Peter about tumesoma chapter 3 verse number 18. That the grace ambayo Peter aliongea akimaliza verse 18 ya chapter 3, he says, but grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To Him be the glory both now and to the day of eternity. Amen. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwa hiyo tuweze kuwa katika hiyo neema, na hiyo neema itusaidie hata sisi ambao tuliitwa katika kongamano hii. Tusichukue kongamano tu kama ni lazima tungefika tukuje tusome ama tufanye kile ambacho tunafanya then tuondoke hivyo. Lakini hiyo neema ambayo tumepewa katika muda huu itusaidie to make a change in our lives, to make a change in the life of many youth ambao wako nje, ambao they are hopeless, ambao they have no hope. Mnaongea na wao unasikia kweli hata sijui unaweza saidia huyo mtu aje, but it's good to encourage them na kuambia kwamba katika hiyo neema Mungu atatusaidia na nchi yetu itasimama, biashara zetu Mungu atusaidia katika kupata kazi na mambo zingine, but that grace is what we pray now. May God bless us. Nitamalizia hapo. God to you good. Amen.
So karibu sana, just say hello, then we can continue.
Bwana asifiwe.
Amen.
We want to thank God for each one of you. Thank you so much for coming. Uncle Paul was at my age, but Peter was at your age. If you study your Bible very well, Paul was at my age because he had finished the University of Cameroon, and so he had done a lot of travel and a lot of great things. And now, as he writes, he was old. But many of the disciples, they were young. They were not above 35. So Peter was exactly at your age. And then there came a storm. One thing that Peter did not complain, and you know in that boat there were many jokers there. There are other jokers sitting there. And so, Jesus came walking, and then they all say that was a ghost. Then Peter said, Father, Lord, if it is you, tell me to do what?
To come.
And he did one major thing. He got out of the boat. He got out of the boat.
He got out of the boats.
I'll talk and then
The boats.
it was tough. Everything was, he did not know what to do next. Fourth night. And the storm was the mother of the storm. But what did he do? He got out of the boat. He did not care. What did he do? He did not care, but he got out of the boat. But I'm sure the jokers who were seated with him, what did they do? Walikuwa wanashika shati yake. Kumwambia wewe wacha nini?
Acha jokes.
Wacha
Zima hiyo kitu.
He got out of
the boat.
He stepped up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, young man, it is dark and difficult. But I think you cannot just sit and complain. It is good to complain, but you are doing something. There is a crowd that you are doing
something.
You just don't sit there and say, well, Bwana anatosha. Yes, Bwana anatosha, but you need to get out of the boat and do
something.
That's number one. He got out of the
boat.
He got out of the boat as young as he was. Young people, we can do a lot. We can work a lot. But one of the things we must do is to get out of the boat. But you know, how did he get out of the boat? Before he got out of the boat, he asked for the Lord. He told, give me a word. He said,
to come.
Come and do me because he was asking for a word. He asked for a word.
He asked for a word.
Come and you know, it is wrong to get out of the boat blindly. But hajasema utoke ndani ya chombo kama umefunga nini?
Macho.
Kama alisema kama ndio anasema nifanye nini?
Nije.
Step down. But first of all, you ask for a word. Before you do anything, ask for a word. At this time when you are strong, make sure you have the right word. Don't follow things blindly. I know all about the leaders. Tell your colleagues in wherever you come from our region. Kama hujafanya kitu, sikiza
neno vizuri.
Make sure that word is coming from. Was very well. Young people, make sure as young as you are, behave like Peter. Don't stay there until you say. You must step out of the boat to do something. And when you step out of the boat, you must ask for what?
A word.
And you don't ask a word from State House or from Orange House, but ask a word from
God.
Let's say church house.
Church house.
CV, and I'm a researcher, a policy analyst, and an Afri-futurist. Has anyone heard the name futurist or foresight? Inamaanisha nini? Kuona mbele. We come from the tribe ile naona mbele. Sawa.
Kuona mbele.
This is where you have a bulging or a big, I was going to say a big like my children, a big number of young people compared to children and the older people. So of course the children in Africa are many. But what is happening is that the shift is moving from the 0 to about 10 years old to the upper cohort. And the reason for that is because Africa registered the highest number of childbirth in the 1980s. And these young people are young people. How many of you were born in the 80s? I doubt if there's anyone here. Okay, kuna wengine? Okay, and 90s. Okay? So a lot of you were born in that and now you have become young adults. And so what is happening? Yeah, okay, what is happening is that these young people are coming into the job market. But remember, the government, even if it knew that, look, we have many young people coming into the job market, what they did in terms of policy is that they prepared for the enlarging number of children. So they invested a lot in maternal health, and child health. But they forgot that these young people are doing what? Are growing. And so by the time you people were coming to primary, secondary, and high school, what was happening is that the same facilities that were there did not expand according to the expansion of young people. And so you find a place where you have too many young people, they cannot fit in the facilities that are there. So we've done well in terms of primary school. But when you think about part of the reason why there's low high school, and you see the numbers, is because we haven't expanded. And then of course, these young people are going to get out and look for employment. And so now we're in a crisis. This is what are we going to do about youth unemployment? But in the Asian Tigers, what they did is when they realized that this is what is happening, they actually they looked forward. That's why Kuona Mele is very important. So they looked forward and they realized this thing will catch up with us. And so right from when the childbirth ratios were too high, they decided they are going to invest in education and health. And they invested almost 200% or 300% of increases in budgets to help educate people so well with world-class education so that they export labor to other countries. And so that these young people, you don't have them to look for jobs for them. Why? Because they are very well skilled. And even if the demand is not here, it will be demanded elsewhere. And that's why the Asian Tigers actually have leapfrogged from third world countries to emerging economies. And that is the plan of the day.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Very good.
My name is Cohesion. Today, I'm going to give a blessing about and serving the Holy Church in Kenya, Kimoja Circuit or Parish, Nairobi Synod, and I'm a youth representative representing Nairobi region. God bless you and welcome to this word.
Bwana asifiwe.
Amen.
My name is Dr. Katindi CV. As I told you, I'm a researcher, policy analyst, Afrofuturist, and I'm also a lecturer. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Dr. Kanga Mao. I'm a Christian psychologist. I train and teach.
Wow.
I'm the regular chair.
Wow.
Vijana hoye.
Hoye.
Vijana My name is Oli Notet. I work at the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. I'm a communication and peace expert, and I was one time a youth, and it's a pleasure to interact with you this morning.
Jambo.
Hatujambo.
My name is Gogo Nguma. I work with IEBC. And the Nairobi City Council.
Wale watu.
City County Elections Manager. I was the returning officer for the county elections, including the general elections, the elections of the governor, senator, and the councilwoman member to the National Assembly. And I also supervise the other 17 returning officers at the respective constituency. I'm glad to be here.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Makena Mutuma. I am a clergy of the Methodist Church in Kenya in charge of young people, and I'm also an adjunct lecturer at Green Lakes University and St. Paul's University. Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Mary Stanley.
Thank you. Now, I'll speak from the context of the election cycle. The electoral process is divided.
One of the key partners that we have is the business that you have just talked about. We have a platform called Uyano Platform for Peace. This Uyano Platform for Peace brings together a number of institutions, IBC included, ORPP, CBOs, faith-based organizations. We have a group called Vijana Bila Ukabila, Mathare Peace Initiatives. My list is very, very long. Maybe after this, probably you can let us know which organization you work for, And maybe that was an unfortunate case where probably we didn't know about the institution. But then what I want to assure you is that we work at the grassroots level. Currently, we have a program called Deepening Peace and Cohesion for Prosperity in Kenya, Amani kwa Ground, where we want to work at the grassroots level, meaning that we will work with even individuals. You know, there are people who have come up with different proposals, and within our mandate and within the capability that we have, we support. I don't want to commit that we can give finances because we are a government institution regulated by government regulations, so we might not be in a position to give you funds, but we shall be in a position to give you even personal resources in terms of expertise to come and work with you. Otherwise, I just want to say that we are open and we work very, very closely with different institutions to ensure that we safeguard our country. We only have one country. Even if today we say we cannot vote, then who will actually come up as a leader? Okay? I think this is a conversation that should not end here. I would love to continue having this conversation even at a different level so that we can actually get to the bottom of the root cause of all this voter apathy. I know my colleague is here, he might have to speak to that, but what we are saying is that everybody matters in this country. This is our only home, unless you have another country. But this is the only country that we have. When all is said and done, akila mtu ambaye aende kwao, kwenu ni wapi? It is Kenya. So Kenya is one country that we should jealously safeguard, irrespective of the differences that we have. We are human, yes, because sometimes I say if you flip the coin the other way around, will the same probably people say that the institutions are unfair? And maybe one thing I need to tell you, by the way, is that out of that report that we did, IEBC emerged as one of the most trusted institutions at the National Police Service. Yes, I will share the report with you, the judiciary. So the most trusted institutions, we were even shocked and we were like, wow, okay.
Were they
so
paid?
Sometimes, as a reverend said, fear is what? False evidence appearing to be real. But the truth of the matter is, this is the feeling at the ground at the moment. So what are we going to do as institutions to reinstill the trust and the confidence in the government institutions? Because if we don't have those government institutions, then how are we going to govern our country? So I would really welcome you to read that report. We went out even to informal settlements, and some of the youth actually were saying, for the first time, we are convinced. Others were saying, what we are enjoying is negative peace. We might assume to say that we are peaceful, but we are hurting. We are really aching. We are dying. Inside, we are crushed. And those are the youth. And we cannot rule out the fact that they are in pain. So we are here today speaking and saying, then what is the way forward? What is the way forward? How are we going to heal our nation? We need to heal the heart of this nation. And the heart of this nation, I may be wrong, but I think it is the youth. You are the leaders. They say you are the leaders of tomorrow, but I always say you are the leaders of today. Yes. So if you are hurting, then how are we going to lead the country? So it is a genuine conversations that should actually go beyond here, so that we can talk and say, look here, we have hurt, but then what is the way forward? So I will welcome you to our website. Kindly download that report, read it. They are verbatim. In fact, one said, in fact, we are going to tell IEBC to deregister us, we will not vote again. That is not a good statement. So I want to say that as NCIC, we are so open to work with each and every one of us so that we can find lasting, true healing and reconciliation in this country.
Throughout this session, before the next election, because to many youths it will feel like they are being used, that
Kama siasa iko karibu, ndio sasa IEBC inatokea and other institutions zinatokea na inaanza kurecruit watu wengi vitu kama hizo. And then to make matters worse, you might find that the aspirants from that area are suggesting their own youths to take part in the exercise.
The National Talent Center, where they will face the chairman of the commission. Chairman of the commission is the returning officer for the presidential election. Remember, at all these talent centers, we have agents of the respective candidates or parties. So the National Talent Center, a returning officer from a constituency will hand over his Form 34As from that constituency and then the Form 34B that collected results. But remember, the chairman also has access to the Form 34A that was transmitted electronically from the polling station. So the chairman, of course it's not the chairman, his team here, but it's the overall person, will check every Form 34A from that constituency against the uploaded image from the polling station that was electronically transmitted, and then the Form 34B that has been given as collected results and verified. That is a legal procedure that must be done. The chief agents of the candidates and parties must also verify the same, that this image that was transmitted is the image of this original Form 34A that is before us, and the entries in the Form 34B are the entries that are in this Form 34As. If that is the case, then that particular entry goes into Form 34C. Now we had 46,229 polling stations in the country during the last general election. So each of those results had to enter into Form 34C. Compare the transmitted image with the physical original that has been brought by the returning officer and the corresponding entry in Form 34B. If they are happy with that entry, it goes into Form 34C. So all the 290 returning officers brought their results in that manner. Now, in addition, the presidential election is also carried out in prisons. So we had a Form 34B for prisons. It is also done in the diaspora, and I think 14 countries in the last general election. Therefore, 34B is also brought in the same way. Now, once that has been verified and been entered into Form 34C with 46,000 entries, that becomes the result declaration form. So the chairman is supposed to check which candidate in this Form 34C has garnered at least 50% plus 1 vote of the valid votes that have been cast. If we have such a candidate, anaweka tick moja. Then he checks from the 47 counties, what percent of the valid votes garnered has each of these candidates gotten. So they have a list. Candidate A has 25, candidate B has 36, counties where they garnered 25% and the likes. Then he checks, do we have any candidate here who has attained the 50% plus 1 vote? If there is, fine. The second requirement, does this candidate also have 25% in at least 24 counties? If the answer is yes, that person will be declared president-elect. If none of them meets that threshold, then a fresh presidential election must be conducted within 30 days. That is the law. So that is the process. The server has the forms. We have the forms accessible through a public portal. We are yet to see someone saying that I have downloaded Form 34A from Ufangamano House that says different from the physical form that was presented before the chairman, and that entry was put in Form 34C. We've not seen one form. Remember, there are 46,000 forms. So, ladies and gentlemen, our election is manual, and it is done manually. That server, you can open it, you will find physical forms. You cannot tally those forms unless you use your pen or use Excel or any other computer software to key in those results that you've seen in that image. But remember, the law says we use the physical form that's presented, not even the image. The image is for transparency, for the whole world to see that this result that is being put in Form 34C is a result that came from the polling station. Remember the judgment that was made in 2017, that the result from the polling station is final. You cannot change the result anywhere, not at the constituency tallying center, not at the national tallying center. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the result process, and that is what was done to date. That stands as the result. So you may hear about servants, you may hear about, Reverend says here that there are people who are not willing to follow the process. We are yet to be shown one who did follow the process. But that is the narrative that is going round and round and round. We believed it. It's okay to question, but question from the perspective of the law.
While the heat of Kenyan elections blazed, we youths anticipated the worst and gazed towards an uncertain future that slowly faded into the new government, which was appraised. We feared, for we had seen wars. We were frightened for our limbs and arms. The older generation returning to their farms, afraid of more harms. With pounds of wisdom during conferences and seminars, the NCCK nourished peace like a galaxy of stars, and when chaos, police brutality, and negative youth radicalization threatened to reign, this raging beast stood tall, peace to sustain. Their tenacity did not go unseen. For the Nobel Prize, they have gleaned a recognition, appreciation, and esteem of their noble mission. A tribute to their unending, unwavering, unshakable, tireless vision. So, with our 2 feet standing up, with our 2 feet standing up!
Oh, see part of
our hands singing praises, our hands ready to clap. Letters of thou this thirsty lion, whose thirst can only be quenched by promoting peace and unity in Kenya.
Mine is short stature. So of course that will be, I think the first thing I will address, we felt a little bad that under the areas to be improved, this place is not figured differently. Yeah, it's so sad that our friend, because of the wheelchair, has had to be outside during the whole time, and even during going for meals, she cannot be wheeled to the place, so someone has to be there with her to get the meals for her and let her home. So kindly, NCCK, when you will be choosing maybe a venue for the next one, I believe this is not the last interaction you're going to have, kindly consider venues that are very PWD friendly. Yeah. Apart from that, the first question was, how was the conference? For me, it was very engaging. It was interactive. We have received so much information. Like for me, I didn't know much about NSIC.
Yeah, I didn't know much about them. I've never interacted with them. When wanasema wako mpaka kwa grassroots, so maybe with my team we will try and reach out to them, and then maybe on the next one tutasema kama ama is it true wanafikanga mpaka kwa grassroots to engage with us. Sisi hatuko huko juu. Yeah, and on issues to do with IBC, I've also learned a few things. But somehow we have learned something from them that perhaps it's true they are not as bad as we have been thinking, but still lazima pia kuwe na areas that they need to improve on. Kumekuwa na meals, we need to appreciate that, senior. Tumekaribishwa nimekuwepo na sidhani kuna mtu aliendea maybe as a developing akanyimwa, so that's nice. Unaweza kuja kwangu nikwambia kwa hiyo uchumi wewe, tupige story uende home. So we are grateful even for the meals. And yeah, so I have learned whatever we have learned. I'm going to take it out, but first tumeambiwa na rep ile mama anasema lazima pia ufanye your own research. Yeah, we cannot just take everything as the gospel truth. Tuta take information. Okay, me, I'll take your information. Wamesema, I'll go do my research. Nikipata ni ukweli, then I'll preach it out there to the people. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Unaweka nini? Kimani tunajua height so. Wachache. Ini amechoza. Ini wachache si wote.
The short and sweet. Unaweza malizia itawanza wina. Wingarets. Hello. Say hello. Na subscribe tumtajipata hapo kwa channel. Hata subscribe na mujiona.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I'll bring you their stories. These beautiful ladies. Nakwambia content creators, kila kitu inakuanga content. Oops. Inakaa supu, wapishi. This looks beautiful. Watu wa Centro wakikosa waru is a crime. Thank you.